What's up, guys, and welcome to Walkie Empire. In this channel, I'm going to talk a lot about tools, apartment maintenance, tips and tricks, and things that I wish I had someone to tell me when I first started off as a maintenance tech. If you like this content and want to see more, please subscribe and turn your notifications on. I've been doing apartment maintenance for 2 years, and before that, I was a finished carpenter for 8. Today, we'll just go about my everyday carry, basically what I put on my hip and in my pockets while I'm walking around the property. And yeah, we'll start off with my pouch. I got this Vito Pro Pack MP1X series pouch a month ago. It's the blackout version. I got this because a lot of these things I used to carry in my pocket, and I genuinely did not like it. I did not like having my 13-in-1 in my pocket with all these other, pliers and stuff. It was always unorganized and poking me in my leg, whenever I, kneeled down or anything like that. So I bought this, and it's done exactly what I wanted it to do. The fact that it's easy to take on and off is fantastic. Here in the front, it's got this metal clip here for a tape measure or a drill, which is really nice. I will swap out this Allen key set for a tape measure depending on how my day looks. Here in the loop, I keep some electrical tape and plumbing tape. I don't need any extra colors for electrical. I kind of only use this to hold wires together while I'm testing stuff and before I get a wire nut, And plumbing tape, I don't need any good stuff because in apartment maintenance, something's always breaking and I always got to replace things, whether resident breaks it or I'm doing a unit turn, and every couple years, shower heads are being swapped out. Here, I got this Wera Allen key torque set. I like keys more than it being in a slotted thing where you fold them out. I like the fact that they're keys. I got the short version because this mainly gets used for appliances, and I love the color codedness that Wera does. The heads, these teeth grab on very, very nice. Like, even if the screw's slightly chewed up, they will still somehow grab on so that you can pull them out and in worst case scenarios put them back in. You can still open it up by sliding that open, and it has the numbers on the inside, which is nice. I do like that. More importantly, this color codedness that it has is fantastic because I could call them out by the color now instead of just the measurement if somebody is confused. This is what they look like. And this, I do know that this takes up a lot more space. I haven't had a problem with it yet where I needed to, kind of cut this down to get it to fit into something, even on my regular Allen keys. But I like the fact that it's, the circle thing, and I feel like I could get a slightly better grip out of them. So, yeah, I do recommend Wera. They're a fantastic brand. Make very good quality tools. I've had this for quite some time. Actually, my lady had gifted this to me, and I love them. I love them a lot. I keep a lot of writing stuff, writing tools. Here I keep an ink saw, Milwaukee ink saw, marker. I keep a pen. Always jotting stuff down. I always keep 2 pencils, just in the event of if this one is no longer sharp. I have that one as a backup. I write a lot of things down instead of trying to work on muscle memory or my memory. I keep this kind of Schrader valve tool screwdriver, not necessarily for the screwdriver itself, but this Schrader valve tool. I do know that that tool, that bit comes on the 13-in-1s for Milwaukee and Klein, but I buy the electrical version ones. So if somebody knows where I can find this as an actual bit, would be fantastic. I'm trying to make a multi-tool screwdriver, and that is one of the things that I need, so I can actually make it. But I have a bunch of these. I get these for free from all the reps. From this one came from a Lowe's Pro Supply rep. I get them from the Chadwell reps and HD Supply reps, or any trade show for that matter. And I grab a bunch. I only go through these because I hand them out so much. If anybody does not have one, or if they lost one, I will give them. I have so many of these things. They come in handy a lot. I also keep a flashlight. This one's rechargeable from Milwaukee. It is the old school USB. I've had this for a while. I do know they came out with some new ones that are USB-C, which is nice. This one has two separate light colors, light strengths, and a laser. You can use the laser while the light's on, which is nice. But again, I like the rechargeable one because I hate swapping out batteries. I usually charge everything the night before I go to work, so like that I never worry about it. I keep this non-contact voltage tester. These are nice from Milwaukee, but they're not the best. They don't have the best durability. I drop this thing a lot, so the sound no longer works. Like, it works very faintly, but it does do high voltage and low voltage. I find it useful when I'm, servicing HVAC systems and making sure that wires are getting power on the thermostat wires. I like that. It just helps me pinpoint things a little bit faster. But yeah, that's my idiot stick. I keep a precision screwdriver. I keep the 3/32 flathead on there. It's the smallest one on this. And then I also keep a .002 Phillips on the other side. I like knowing where all my bits are at all times, on which side they're on and whatnot, because most of the time I'm working on the muscle memory of things, and it's nice me pulling something out and knowing if I flip it, what I have on it. This is new for me, but I keep this Milwaukee multi-bit driver, impact rated. I used to only have the one from Klein where it was just the 1/4 inch and 5/16 adapter, and it came in like a piece that was like that long. It didn't have this, but I've been doing I was working at a property this summer where I did a lot of blower motors and condensing fan motors, and I needed all of these extra bits. And instead of buying like the individual sockets or using my actual socket set, which was a lot bulkier, I'm able to just carry this and slide this out, and attach it to my drill, swap them out as I need it. Klein also makes the same thing. I prefer Milwaukee a whole lot. As you can see, I have an enormous amount of Milwaukee things. I stand by them. I'm a very dedicated customer to them, and I like seeing them make new things. This is their 13-in-1. It is magnetic. I was rocking these things before they were magnetic. I almost went to Klein because they had one that was magnetic. And then maybe like a month later, before I was about to buy the Klein one, they made this one magnetic. The only thing I wish is that I know Klein makes one that's either a 14-in-1 or a 15-in-1, where these shafts for nuts are a different size on the other side. So Milwaukee, please do the same thing. That's a very nice feature that I wish I could have on this. So I keep a regular number 2 Phillips on that side, the smaller flathead on the other. I did say this one was the electrical one, so this comes with the E2. This is an E2. I don't know what this bit really is called, but it's kind of like a multi-bit where it's like a square and a flathead. It's really good for circuit breakers, panels. So I opted to get this instead of the one that comes with the Schrader valve tool. And this side I have a number 2 square. Yeah, I chose this one because I do a lot of breaker stuff. So this one comes in handy more. I keep needle nose pliers. Now I basically only use this for tub drains, pulling out hair. So that's why it's kind of always rusty. No matter how much I clean it, it gets rusty. I also keep a set of channel locks. I'm pretty sure I say this one as the wrong name, but growing up, everybody told me that these were channel locks. I like these more than tongue and groove. I do have a set of tongue and groove just because of the flat jaws. I like the flat jaws more. I wish Milwaukee did this precise adjustment one with the flat jaw, Even if I had the teeth, I wouldn't mind it, but the flat jaw is something that I would like. Um, but I do still like these. I like the fact that I can get it more precise, where this handle will stay more down here, so I can make a better grip on them. So that's why I always keep these guys. I don't need anything bigger than that normally. I keep a 6-inch C-wrench in the event of me, like, you know, putting a screw and a nut together. I could put this in there, and instead of me having to focus on keeping enough pressure, I can just focus on putting the screw in and balancing whatever it is that I'm trying to tighten up. I keep a Milwaukee 9-inch 7-in-1 wire stripper. This one comes with the integrated crimper. If you are doing a lot of wires that are, you know, bigger gauges than your normal gauges, I would recommend getting yourself a normal crimper, because the fact that it's here in the middle, it doesn't give you enough leverage to squeeze them, you know, securely squeeze them. So it doesn't like just give you enough pressure. But I do like the fact that it's spring loaded, and that these come with this kind of like needle nose, like jaws, you know, kind of acts like a lineman for me to, you know, like screw wires together or unscrew them. If I actually bought this before I bought the linemans, I probably would have never bought the linemans, honestly. Not for like at least what I do. I did put some Sharpie here. It's because I worked at a property that somebody had the same exact setup, so I just put that to indicate it was mine, because mine was definitely dirtier than theirs. So I didn't want them to get confused. But this is the pack here. It's very durable. I've only had it for a month, so all the pockets are very, very hard still. But I do love the quality. I don't know what material this is, but the leather feels great. I mean, this is supposed to slide into a pocket, I believe. You know, I've seen somebody else use it good, and it worked good for them, but not for me. But I love this belt clip here. It feels very durable. I think it's going to last me a long time. Their warranty policy, the 5-year warranty, is great. I do recommend, you know, getting this pouch or another pouch like that, specifically because this belt loop, the option of taking it off when I don't want it on my hip, you know, if I'm talking to a resident or specifically talking to the property manager and, you know, upper management, I don't have this thing on me. I can look a little bit more professional when I speak to them. So the fact of, you know, the mobility of this thing is great. And I would recommend this. I know they have backpacks. I know they work out well for HVAC guys and stuff like that. So take a look at Vito's stuff. On my hip, I always keep my impact driver as well. I run an M18 battery. Tools, when I started buying my power tools, I was in construction. So this is about 3 years old. Battery's probably dead now. Yeah, it is. But I always buy fuel. If you're going to buy power tools, you don't necessarily need to buy Milwaukee. I do recommend buying Milwaukee, but more importantly, buy brushless tools. They last longer. They're just way better. Having brushed tools is a thing of the past. You know, if your drills are about to go bad, like, you know, when you go think about buying a new one, get the brushless ones. Try to get their, you know, whatever brand you use. For Milwaukee, it's Fuel. I think for DeWalt, it's XR or whatever. But, you know, this brushless system, always just buy the brushless. They work better. But I like this one the most because of this self-tap feature. A lot of people don't know about this, but this is for when you're putting self-tapping screws in metal and stuff like that. This will start off slower and gradually move faster as the screw's going into whatever you're screwing. So this just makes it so much easier to put in self-tappers. So, like, you know, I try to teach everybody about what that really means, you know. But the only adjustment I made to this was this bit holder. I bought this from Home Depot, just a bit holder for your impact. If you had an M12, you know, it's different. It will go up here, you know, but for the M18, this one's great. I usually only keep these two on here, but if I'm working on something that I need extra bits, I will just add them to the back. This is an extender from Wera. I'll show you where I pulled that out of. These bits are also Wera bits. In my opinion, they're the best bits you could buy. So yeah, if I started buying tools when I started apartment maintenance, I probably would have used the M12 batteries. I think that's more than enough power you know, that you need, but it's a lot more compact compared to this M18. But I'm not complaining. I haven't had any problems. I haven't had any reason to change it, so I'm still rocking it. In my back pocket, I carry this Wera Tool Check Plus. This is new. I had the older one. I had the older one for 2 years, and the only reason why I got this new one is for this locking feature. So you can unlock it there and it'll open, or you can lock it and it won't come out. The only reason why this broke here was because this was slightly open in my pocket like that, and I was pulling it out out of my pocket, and it I broke it. But I would have never needed a new one if it wasn't for that. Like, these bits are great. You can see these are the older bits that I was using. They're still in really good condition, like they don't break, they don't change shape. So I keep this one as a backup for bits, mainly if I lose them. For here, I think I only lost two bits out of this one. Yeah, I only lost 2 bits out of this one. I've kind of swapped them out and put them back here. For these new tool check kits, I wish Wera let you pick out what bits you have, because they no longer give us these posit drive bits. So this looks like a regular Phillips, but it has a slight line in it, and it's to allow that like regular Phillips screws to have more torque. So that's why they use these. A lot of people don't know about this screw, this bit. So I try to teach people how to properly use their bits, and to save the life of the screw, and more importantly your bits. But Wera's bits are unbeatable, and the fact that they're doing this color codeness is fantastic. I mean, they've been doing it on the sockets forever, but the fact that they started doing it on the bits, just like they do on their chokers and their Allen keys, it's great. I love the touch. It comes with this little ratchet up here. You'd be surprised how much torque this thing can, put out. And the fact that it's so small is great. I use this a lot in wash machines and some HVAC scenarios. I didn't break the other one either. Like, this thing is great. It comes with that bit that I was telling you about on the drill, so it slides into there, doesn't fall out. For this guy, you do need to have this thing on here, and if you're not careful when sliding it, you can pass it too much where it will break off. But I never had that happen to me, but I had a fellow coworker do that. It does come with a little stubby here. You could add the extender or any extender to it, or any bit with these sockets, which is nice. I do like that. With this little tool check right here, you can eliminate a lot of tools. You really can. You could really throw this in your back pocket and tackle like a decent amount of work orders with just this. So that's basically it. I think the only thing I carry in my pocket is going to be a gallows gun. I bought this gallows gun very recently, and for one specific reason. I saw somebody using this on a YouTube video. It's from New Calgan. 100% positive I'm saying that incorrectly, but this one allows you to take 20 and 16 size cartridges. Every property I've gone to, somebody's using a different size one. So at one point I was running with 2 gallows guns, depending on, I switch from properties a lot, and always having to switch your gallows gun based on the cartridge was annoying. So I did buy that. You just have to flip this upside down to use a different size. But I saw somebody using this right here, and this really changed the game for me. So usually you would, sometimes in some HVAC handlers, specifically like the ones for hallways, it'll have the condensation line drop down, then go into the main line. But somewhere in the middle, it will have a separate line for the float switch. This allows you to go in deep enough to go past the float switch pipe, and when you blow it, this will expand and then shoot air out, instead of just using this, and potentially having the air shoot out of the float switch. So instead of having to hold the float switch and then shoot down, and hope you get enough pressure. This, you could literally go as far down as you want and get a better pressure of blowing everything out. So that's basically everything I keep in my pouch, in my pocket. I could do about 60% of the work orders with this thing. I do recommend carrying all of these tools. You don't need the name brands, but having these type of tools in your kit are fantastic. I will soon go through everything I carry in here, but if you guys like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe, and turn your notifications on for new videos. Thank you.